Hi, welcome to Hobbies Reviews. My name is Hobby. Welcome to part two of the Desert Eagle. Just a few things that I managed to forget, or I forgot to mention, rather, um, is that the kind of the size of the handle, right? So it's a huge handgun. We kind of covered that, and it's got a huge grip because it's designed to hold a 50 caliber round, a gigantic round, and that's the reason most semi-auto pistols don't have Magnum rounds, is because they tend to be longer. Well, my hand, in case you're wondering if you're going to be able to hold this thing, so from here, from the pinky all the way to the tip of the thumb is 8 inches across. 8 inches. And from the base of my hand, right here, all the way to the top of my pinky finger is going to be 7 inches. And I can get a pretty decent grip. It's not ideal. So if I hold an ideal grip where basically, in order to have good recoil management, you want the gun to be in a line with your the bones in your arm. So then the force comes back, directly back. With my hand size, I have to actually scoot it over to the side, and you can see how it's not aligned. And with the real thing, it's going to be obviously a much bigger deal. It's going to pull up and away from the rest of my arm. So it's going to pull up and to the left. So then I'm going to have to bring it back down and to the right. With my hand size, if you have slightly bigger hands, you might be able to grip it. It's just really uncomfortable if I grip it the correct way, and I can't really manage the recoil. With two hands, it becomes a little easier, but one of the things that I actually notice is that because the slide release is kind of right up in your business here, it gets in the way. Like if you try to go high on it, you'll actually kind of rub against the slide as it's coming back. And if you go low, it kind of feels a little unnatural, and it makes it harder to get a good solid grip under the beaver tail there. So I end up just kind of pushing my thumbs out a little bit. And like I said, with the recoil on this thing, it's not terrible. It's like a 22. And you can kind of see the sight picture right there. It's pretty decent. In low light, it's going to be a little hard to see, which is why I would prefer to have kind of the tri-dot system, the 3-dot. But it is what it is. And it's just got such a unique safety that just the kind of the picture from the back is so unique. I'm gonna make sure that this thing is empty. I'm just gonna take a look at that iconic. Gosh, that front is just absolutely iconic. Agent Smith, anyone? And one thing that I noticed when I actually got this thing is it was just oiled up like you would not believe. I actually had to kind of rub some of the oil off of this thing. They had oiled everything up, including inside the hop-up. So I actually had to clean out the hop-up. I was tempted to use some alcohol, but reading up on it, alcohol tends to dry things, and that's true. You rub it on your skin, you get dry skin. Well, it's going to be the same with the hop-up rubber. So what I did is I just used water and soap, and I just kind of cleaned it out. Of course, if you get oil on the hop-up, the whole point of the hop-up rubber is it operates on friction. It grips the top, it creates backspin, and it lifts up the BBs. And if it's all oily and slicked up, it's not going to do that really well. So I think that might have contributed to the initial problems with the drop on the BBs, but as I reviewed or covered in the previous video, it had more to do with the mechanical functioning of the hop-up. If you're curious about how that works, you can go ahead and watch the first video. When it comes to hop-up on this thing, the hop-up is absolutely incredible. I was shooting .4s, and as I was trying to tune the thing to figure out what weight BB was going to be the best, I found that it could spin them completely out of control. By 40 yards, there was like a 10-foot rise on the BB. It was incredible to watch. So it could probably hop straight up till like 5, probably. .5s, or I don't even know if they make them higher than that, but if they do, it probably could handle that. The range on this thing, I'd say maybe you're gonna have to kind of lift it considerably aim maybe 10 feet higher, but it can hit 70, 80 yards. It's going to be a kind of a guessing game when it comes to that. If you're using it for a game, you know, that's probably its max range. If you get kind of a tighter bore barrel, which they do make for it, you can find them on evike.com, and maybe a better hop-up rubber. Though, come to think of it, scratch the hop-up rubber. Obviously, the hop-up rubber is absolutely fine. But with a tighter bore, you might get more kind of FPS behind it, and it might have a better range. I don't really know. I don't really plan on playing any games with it, and for planking around in my backyard, it's completely fine. It has plenty of power. My neighbor has a plastic fence, which apparently was quite expensive. But anyway, it punches holes right through the fence at about 25 feet. So I have to be really careful with how I am. Anyway, so those are kind of the little details that I kind of wanted to fill you in on. And if you have any questions or like my content, go ahead and subscribe. You know the deal. YouTube's been around for a while. And thank you for watching Hobbies and Reviews. Have a great day.